So if you're ready, Lara, I'll get started. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you're probably going crazy trying to get everything that you need to do, busting through April to promote and all of that stuff too. So this isn't like a typical Zoom. Our team Zooms are on Sunday nights, but like I talked to you about a little bit before, these girls just straight hustled the last couple of weeks of March, and we did that. We tried pretty much similar to what we heard that, I don't even remember her name. Shoot, I can't even remember her name. She's got blonde hair. Crystal, if you remember her name, can you put her in the chat? She did some type of like push chat that she got from you, like tips from you or something like that. And I watched one of her videos talking about it, and I was like, oh, I need to do that. So it was like the last 2 weeks of March, and I just like a couple of us like rallied together, and then we're like, let's do this. And they totally rocked it out. So this is their reward. I'm like, that's perfect. She's the one that we got the idea technically from. So what would be more awesome than being able to hear from you? So I am super excited. If you just want to start out and just like tell us a little bit of your story, however much of it that you want to share, and just kind of do that, because all that we pretty much know so far, I mean, I've heard a little bit of your story on a video that you posted before, but your amazing results that we've all seen, of course, too. So however much that you want to share, and thanks again so much for being on with us.
Yeah, of course. Can you guys hear me okay? Am I good? Can I get, okay, yeah, okay. So, I always try to fit my story in like the smallest amount of time, but there's just so much like that goes into it that, you know, we're just going to go in. So, I started this business, almost 3 years ago. So my 3-year anniversary will be in a month. But my story begins way before It Works was even in the picture. You know, I didn't have a really good childhood. I've been in and out of foster care. I come from a background of alcoholism and abuse, and it's just all around not so good situation. And so when I was 17, I legally emancipated myself. And, you know, life was really hard, and being on your own for so long, you kind of go into like survival mode. And, you know, when I graduated high school, I had to take a semester off to work to be able to afford college. I saved up enough money to pay my deposit for school, get my books and everything, and get started. And I went to a small private school in Missouri. I'm born and raised in Missouri. And so I went for 2 semesters. In my second semester, I actually found out that my loans were declined, and some paperwork wasn't filed. I really don't even know still to this day what exactly happened, but my loans didn't go through, and so I had to pay out of pocket to continue going to school. And as a 19-year-old kid, I did not have, you know, $30K in my bank account just chilling, waiting to be paid, you know. So I had to drop out of school, and it was one of the most difficult decisions. I mean, it really wasn't even a decision. I had to do it because there was no other option, but it was one of the most difficult things I had to do in my life at that point. And I'm muted. It's going to echo back and forth. There we go. So I had to drop out of school, and because I was on my own, I was living at school. Like on breaks, on summer, I would stay at my dorm and pay throughout that. But with me leaving school, I didn't have anywhere to go. And so I called my best friend at the time, who lived in Delaware, complete other side of the country, and just vented to her and was like, you know, what the heck am I going to do? Like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what to do. I just need like some advice right now. And she was like, let me call you back. She called me back 30 minutes later. Her parents had bought me a one-way ticket out to Delaware to come and live with them until I figured out like my next move. So I sold everything that I had. I brought a suitcase with me and flew across the United States, 1,500 miles, to move in with my best friend and her family. I stayed there for a few months, and I actually landed an apartment. I landed 2 jobs, and life was good. And, you know, when you get an apartment and when you're on your own, people don't really tell you all the things that come with being an adult and being on your own. You know, you kind of just assume that it's rent and like groceries, but really it's like rent, groceries, electricity, gas, water, trash, you know, everything else outside of that. And then your groceries. And like at the time, I didn't have a car, so I didn't really have gas, but that's also included like when you're on your own. And, you know, it added up so fast. And before I knew it, I was evicted from my apartment because I was so behind on everything. I could not pay it. And I had moved, sorry, I'm like getting tripped over my story. I had moved an hour away from my friend, well, it was like my family, but like her family, and they owned a hotel, or they managed a hotel in the town that I was in. So instead of, going, I couldn't go back and forth. I didn't have a car from work to like their house, which was an hour away. I moved into their hotel. So at this point in time, I am 19 years old. Well, I was 20 at that time. I had just turned 20. So I'm 20 years old, currently a college dropout, 30,000. Well, I had opened credit cards. So I was $40,000 in debt. And now I'm homeless, living in my friend's family's hotel. And it was so hard. And every time I tell the story, I get a little, taken aback, because it's just like, wow, that really did happen. But, I'm living in the hotel. I pick up a third job. So in the mornings I'm nannying, and the lunch rush, dinner rush, I'm hostessing at a sushi bar, and I'm working at an amusement park. So like I said, I did not have a car. I was literally running across town after one shift ended to get to the other one, to get there on time. And there were so many times I was late, but that's beside the point. In February of 2016, my enroller had followed me, and I remember, because it was around conference time, and I remember seeing her post, and that was like the first thing that caught my eye. And I watched her for 4 months. Okay, she was posting about getting her nails done, going on vacation, going to Florida, which was awesome, and I loved watching what she was doing, and like loved reading her posts, loved seeing her pictures, but it wasn't for me. Like I was like, no, I don't need that. I'm good. Like, I don't need my, that's fine. But like, I love watching you, but that's not for me. And so, I lived in the hotel. I continued working literally 100, 110, 120 hour weeks, because I needed money that bad. I was paying off my debt. I didn't really necessarily have bills, but I had credit cards that were piling up. I had 11, at this point I had 11 credit cards maxed out. Absolutely insane. I remember the day before I joined, this was like my, what do you call it? Like rock bottom moment. You guys remember your rock bottom moment, right? Everyone has one rock bottom moment. And so it was May 1st, 2016. I came home from working all 3 jobs. I hadn't eaten in like 48 hours, because I literally was running like nonstop. I came home and I was so hungry, so I went to make myself like some food, and I'm not gonna cry. The only thing that I had was a half a loaf of bread, a jar of mayonnaise, and a jar of pickles, and I made myself a mayonnaise and pickle sandwich. And it sounds so silly when I say it out loud, and like sometimes I laugh about it, but like that was my reality. I literally only had that to my name, and I'm 20 years old, homeless, living in a hotel, and I can only eat a mayo and pickle sandwich, right? And so I cried myself to sleep, and the next morning I woke up thinking, all right, this is it. Like, this is just my life. And the very first post that I saw when I woke up that morning was from my enroller. And it was something that she had never posted before. And it said, life does not happen to you. You make your life happen. And it was instant. It clicked with me. I was like, all right, like, let me call this girl. Let me see what's up. And so I hit her up, and I'm like, what do I have to do? Like, I need money desperately. I'm ready to go. And the very first thing she said was it was $99, and my heart sunk. I did not have $99, nor would I ever have $99. And so I just kind of felt the opportunity like leave, right? Like in one ear out the other, like gone. And so I was just like, let me call you back. Let me figure some stuff out. And I started pacing around my room, just trying to figure out how in the heck I was even going to make this happen. Because I knew I needed it, but it just wasn't possible, right? And so, like I said, I had been evicted from my apartment. So I had a bunch of stuff just sitting in the room, appliances, clothes, stuff. So I saw my TV sitting there. I wasn't using it. I hadn't used it in like 4 months. And so I carried it across town to the pawn shop and sold it for the exact amount within $1 of what it was to sign up. It's insane, like when I say it every time, because like that's fate, that's God. That is 100% not a coincidence. And so, do you want me to go through like my journey with It Works too, or keep going? Can you hear
me? Yeah, keep going. I'm like loving this. So
okay, so I got started. I paid the $99. Within my first 24 hours, I had my first 4 loyal customers. Within my first month, I was a 400 box all by myself. And then, I only joined to make an extra $200. That was it. And I'm sure you hear it all the time. You're like, yeah, okay, like, sure, you only joined for that. But like, really, that's all I needed. I needed to pay my student loan payment, my credit card payment, and groceries. That is all I needed. I didn't even have intentions of leaving the hotel anytime soon. I literally just wanted to survive, right? And so my first paycheck was $56 and some cents. I don't remember the exact amount, but it was $56. And then my second check was over $100. And then I think my fourth check was $200. And once I hit $200, I was like, I'm good. Like, this is all I joined for. I'm good. And I stopped working hard. Guys, like, if you haven't had this moment yet, y'all are about to have it right now. You have to work hard continuously to continuously make big checks, okay? Like, if you stop working hard, your checks are going to stop. Let me just tell you, because in October of 2016, the one and only time in my entire business I was not commission qualified. I didn't even know that I wasn't commission qualified, if that tells you how, like, not hard I was working. And so when prelims dropped in November for October, I was like, where the hell is my check? Like, hello? Like, where you at? And, my upline was like, well, you weren't commission qualified. You're not going to get a check. Like, you didn't do anything. You haven't done anything for months. Like, hello? And it was a big smack to the face, because that November I was on the cruise. We went to the Bahamas. I didn't have any money. I literally went to the Bahamas with $0. Okay. Let me tell you how much that's, it was great. Don't get me wrong, but like, not being able to like do anything, it was awful. And so once I got off that cruise and went home, I was like, dude, I'm done. Like, this is my like start. I'm ready to go. I'm done like making $200 checks. I'm ready to make $2,000 checks. And so, the end of November and December were just months of solid growth and getting the people in, getting my team set up, getting a team in general. January of 2017, I promoted to executive. February, Ruby. March, Emerald. April, Diamond. So literally 4 months of straight promotion. So in October, I wasn't commission qualified. And by the end of April, I was a high paid Diamond. Guys, absolutely insane. And so I sat at Diamond for 11 months. I promoted to double in March. I won't even go into that, because promoting to double was the hardest promotion I've ever done in my entire life. And here we are 13 months later, promoting to triple. And so I always love to say, when I talk about my stories, like, it's okay to go slow. Like, you don't have to go fast. I love stories of people who go diamond in 30 days, double diamond in 90 days, ambassador in 6 months, whatever it is. Like, those stories are incredible and amazing, but don't let that discredit the stories of people who go slower, because trust me, you learn so much more when you go through the growth, right? So yeah, here we are. This month we're going triple, and yeah, I think that's it. Did I cover everything? I think you're muted.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I don't even know who. I haven't looked at the chat yet, but somebody said chills a minute ago, and I'm like right there with you as you were talking. I kept like getting chills, and I love that. It just shows that it just does not matter where you come from. Like, we come across so many different people in the business, and we're like, I think it's like on, like, there's like this switch that automatically tells us like, oh, they wouldn't be interested, or, oh, they can't do it, or, oh, this and that, like that prejudgment thing. And it's just a reminder that we just need to keep reminding ourselves to turn that off. Like, anybody can do this. Like, and even if we're thinking about ourselves, like if we're even like prejudging ourselves and not even giving ourselves a shot at like, no, you can really do this. Like, like that self-talk or whatever. So okay, I absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing. So my team has a few questions. I have a few questions, obviously. And so just whichever ones that they're not in any particular order.
Just shoot. I got all night.
They're written down on a piece of paper. So, okay. All right. So what would be, first of all, like, what is a day, like a typical, what are your must do's? Like, this is what I do minimum every single day, no matter what. This is what I do.
Okay,
to
so
my
I
business.
have what's called a 6 list, and they're the 6 things that I get done no matter what. Like if I'm sick, I have to. Like I can't sleep until I do it. If I am dead tired, I can't sleep until I do it. If I'm dying, I will do this before I die. Like I will put off my death to get my 6 list done. I'm like dead serious. 6 list is life. So the first thing is posting. So it has 2 parts. Post once on my feed. Obviously, I will not go a day without posting. If there is a day that goes without posting, I'm probably dead or in a ditch somewhere, like barely breathing. Like not posting is not an option, right? So post on my feed. Sometimes I forget to put on Facebook because I'm an Instagram girl, but Instagram is like must. And then the second part of the posting is 5 to 10 slides on Instagram. When I'm pushing, I post over 100. And that's not an exaggeration. If you ask anyone on my team who's on here, like they'll tell you. Like you see my girls, like they're literally like, I'm gonna get carpal tunnel from like clicking through your stories. Like that's how many stories. But I'm telling you, like when you're pushing, the like drive is real. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. So and this is a real statistic. So only 10% of your followers are seeing your like feed posts. So think about that. If you have like 1,000 followers, what is that? Like 10 people who are seeing your posts? If you know, whatever. And so like the more followers you have, obviously the more people are going to see your stuff. But with it's a small percentage, but with stories, 90% of your followers are seeing your stories. And so when the more you post on your stories, the more people are going to see it and then go to your feed. And so if you're only posting like once or twice on your stories, some people will click right past it. Like the more that's on your stories, they're gonna be like, okay, like who is this girl? And like we'll click your profile and go through it, right? So stories are where it's at. That's number 1 on my 6 list. Number 2 is following. I will put between 600 and 1,000 on my Captivate queue. You guys use Captivate, right? I'm not just like talking gibberish. No? Yes? Do we use Captivate? Okay, so throw it on my queue.
Yes, I use Captivate. I know a couple girls on here do as well. We're mostly like a lot of us are majority is Facebook.
Oh goodness.
Sorry, my lag sucks. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so Captivate. Most of my stuff that I'm going to talk about is Instagram because I don't really work Facebook that all too much. I really only work Facebook for host to post like 4 times a month, like not very often. So you're going to learn a lot of new things tonight because I got a lot to say about Instagram. So but yeah, so following is very important, growing your market, because if you're not growing your market, who the heck are you gonna like give the opportunity to, right? And you're gonna lose followers and friends every single day. Like that's just part of it. It doesn't even matter like what you would be posting. Like you could get a new boyfriend and post pictures of your boyfriend every day. People would still unfollow you. If you had a new baby, people would be like, oh my God, I'm so tired of seeing your baby, unfollow, block, right? So it doesn't matter. You're gonna lose followers no matter what. So you have to have a bigger turnaround with new followers, right? And so your number is consistently growing instead of consistently dropping or staying stagnant. So growing your followers is very important. A second like side thing that I do is and it's a habit that I created. Every time I open Instagram, I follow like 20 to 30 people. Like when I open it, and it's just a habit now because I created it. When I open Instagram, like the very first post that pops up, I'll just click the likers. So like, there's just like this. So she only has 13 likes since it's new. So I'll scroll down a little bit. This one is 45. So I'll go down and just follow down the list until like for like 5 or 10 seconds. I follow like 20, 30 people, right? But think about how many times you open Instagram every single day, right? Like at least like 50 times. And if you're following with Captivate and every time you open Instagram, that's like over 1,000 people that you're following in a day. And you're always going to get back 10% of what you do, 10 to 20%. And so if you're following like 1,000 people, you're going to get 100 plus followers every single day. Like how incredible would that be to have 100 new people to message every day, right? Okay, let me pull up my list so I don't forget anything, because I always like like physically like check it off instead of mentally. Post follow. Obviously update your chart is on there because your chart is your roadmap, right? If you do not have a chart and it is not up to date, you will not get to where you want to go. Okay. So who here is diamond? Is anyone diamond? Nobody's diamond?
Yep, we have Crystal's a diamond and
Okay.
Amy is a diamond.
So if you guys are diamonds, you better have a
Crystal's
double
showing
diamond.
up as the other green.
Okay. So if you guys are diamond, you better have a double diamond.
Crystal's double, actually. Sorry, she just promoted to double. I like
have
that.
a triple chart out. You know, have that next chart out. If you're not at diamond yet, so say you're a distributor through Emerald, you have a diamond chart out as well as the chart that you're going for. You always have a diamond chart out because that's where you want to get. That's where the entire compensation plan unlocks. That's where you get cabs and generation bonuses and your checks explode. Okay, get to diamond. So if you're pushing for ruby, have a ruby chart and a diamond chart. If you're pushing for emerald, have an emerald chart and a diamond chart. Like you should see where everything is going, right? Okay, so I'm like pulling the list up so I make sure that I don't forget anything. Okay, so follow up with people you talked to yesterday. This is so important. Do not wait until Friday to follow up. Okay, if you talk to someone on Monday and you don't talk to them again until Friday, you're going to be pretty PO'd when they hit you with a who's this text, right? Like they're not going to remember your conversation. So many things can happen between Monday and Friday. They can get a flat tire. They can go to the mall and accidentally spend all of their money. They could let someone borrow $100 and not get it back. You know, like they could end up in the hospital, or they could change their mind, or they could buy from someone else who followed up with them. You know, like so many things can happen. You need to follow up with them the very next day because that conversation is fresh. They know who you are. They know what you're talking about, and nothing has happened in a 6-hour span, right? Obviously, there are some things that might happen, but rarely do they ever happen, right? So every morning I will scroll to the bottom of my text from the day before, and I will write down in my my day designer. It's a planner. It just has like all the space. It's the best planner ever. It's like 1 page per day. It's like not 3 days on a page, but 1 page per day. And I'll write down all the people who I had a conversation with that didn't respond. Okay, and so I can look at the page and be like, okay, I only talked to 30 people today. I need to double that. That's not enough, right? Or I can look at it and my whole page is full and I'm like, dang, I did work, you know? And then I'm going to go through that list and follow up with them, right? And when I do follow-ups the next day, I don't do the typical like, hey girl, I only have 1 spot left, like working 40% off discount, like did you want a spot? Like I don't do that. I send Kim K gif of her in the trees, like going like, you know, or like, hello, did you get eaten by zombies? Did you get abducted by aliens? I'm sorry, did I piss you off? Like all those things, like things that get done to response, right? Not like the typical like scripted follow-up. I'll do those on Fridays, but like when I'm following up the next day, I'm just talking like I would talk to my best friend. You know, I'm gonna hit them with a GIF. GIF follow-ups are the best. I don't care what anyone says. They're so funny. Like the GIF of Darla from Finding Nemo who like taps on the glass. That one gets them every time. But I'm telling you, Kim K GIF in the trees. When you type in Kim K in the GIF search bar, it's the very first one that pops up. That is the best follow-up. Anyone could fight me and I would win. Like Kim K follow-up for life. Okay, so follow up with people you talked to yesterday.
They can see you.
Huh? Did you say something? No.
Oh, sorry. I was talking to the dog.
Oh, okay. So then the other thing, 1 hour personal development minimum. This could be an hour YouTube video, a podcast, you know, praying, meditating, taking a bubble bath, like whatever I need that day. Because every day is different. Some days I need more, some days I need less, you know. But I do an hour minimum. And most of the time it's playing like all day in the background, but some days it's just an hour. But an hour is my minimum on like my worst, most busy day. And then the last thing is, and this is a minimum, I never do less than this. So message 100 new people. So I will follow until I get at least 100 new followers. And then 100 unsend resends. And so most of the time I just, instead of unsending and resending a message, I'll like just message the people who didn't respond and say, did I catch you at a bad time? I do that every day. I'll scroll down to the day before. So that's like following up, you know. And then a thing that I like to do is I like to scroll back in the in my DMs, like I don't know, like 10, 11, 12 weeks. And I'll say like, hey, I know this is a total shot in the dark, but I saw that you didn't respond to my last message, and I was just wondering if you would be open to more info now. Like something short like that. And a lot of people like that have unfollowed me like weeks or months ago, they'll respond back and be like, yeah, okay, I'm open now. And they'll like hit me with a follow, right? So that's something that I like to do. And then just going through my followers, I just get creative. Like there's so many other ways to message.
You obviously would know more about Instagram, but like, and I was doing that unsend and resend. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was doing that unsend, resend, but I don't remember whose video I saw that on. They were like, they send a notification to the person when they unsend now, or when you unsend messages. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it is a thing. You get a notification, but like I've been called out maybe like 1 or 2 times, but then I'll just be like, well, you didn't respond, so I thought I'd send it again. You know, like you just have to like, the way you think about it is the way it's going to be perceived. So if you go into it being like, oh my God, they're going to get a notification. Like, this is so weird. They're going to like be so mad at me. That's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to like cuss you out and be so mad at you, right? But if you're like, I don't care, they didn't respond. Like they're going to get hit with the same message again, or they're going to get a different message. Like literally it doesn't matter, right? Like if they're not interested, they're going to unfollow you or they're going to block you. What's the worst thing that can happen, right? Like they're not going to show up to your house and like, I was going to say, I don't even know, but like, you know, set your house on fire. Like they're not going to do that. They're literally a person behind a screen, right? So like, it doesn't even matter. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be unsend resends. It's just getting the conversation going again. I like to send like new messages like later on, or I'll like scroll to the bottom, like I said, in my DMs. You can, or at least one of my Instagrams does this. You can sort your following. I'll message people that I'm following, even if they don't follow me back. Some people don't, some people do. I like to just because I can see their profile, and then they'll like request to follow me if they're not following me. I don't know. I do so many different things for messaging, but that's it. So post/stories, follow up with people you talked to yesterday, add on your Captivate queue, message 100 new people and 100 unsend resends, so 200 total. But I push for 400 because, guys, messaging 100 people is not enough. Everyone always says that's the minimum, but guys, it takes 20 minutes to send 100 messages. We have timed it out like time and time again. We proved to our team that like you need to do more. Like, guys, if you spent 20 minutes just messaging 100 people here and there, you could message 1,000 people a day. That's not a stretch. It's not crazy. We do it all the time. Like our team like messages like crazy, and that's why we enroll the way we enroll, right? Okay, so I want you guys to be honest because y'all asked for some red, and I'm going to give you some red. Sorry if you're yellow, but like this is red time. Like, who messages between 10 and 100 people? Honestly. Raise your hand, put it in the chat, whatever.
Well, recently that's what we bumped it up to, is 100 people is the minimum to be messaging every single day since we did that push chat for you, is the 100.
Yeah.
So before that, I can tell you I was hit or miss messaging 100 people a day, or like 40 people, or like 50 people, things like that, until, you know, we started doing that thing that when we saw in your video, I forget, what did you say her name was?
Cassie Nero.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, so messaging 100 people is amazing, okay? Don't let me take that away from you, because that's what I did for the first 2 years of my business, and I got to double. You know, like that will still get you places, but let me ask you this. Do you guys want to, you know, enroll, you know, like 5, 10 loyal customers, or do you want to enroll 30 to 60 loyal customers? Okay, how about, you know, 60 to 90 loyal customers? Guys, you want to know how our team like mass enrolls? messaging, because people don't come to you. Like, they will eventually, but if you sit there and just wait for people to come to you and only give the opportunity to a select few, what the heck are you doing? Like, I'm literally here to give the opportunity to anyone that has like ears, okay? And that's everyone. So I'm gonna message until I physically can't move my thumbs anymore, until my eyes cross, right? And so what I want to say to you is that, like, why are you settling? Why are you guys settling for being average, right? Like, we teach our newbies to message 100 people a day. Why the heck are you messaging 100 people a day? You're not a newbie. And if you are a newbie, like, you're on the Zoom for a reason. You don't want to be a newbie, right? Like, you want to be diamond and above. You want to be a top leader. You want to be top 0.07% of the company. You message more than 100 people. Guys, attraction marketing can only get you so far. You got to be attraction marketing while cold messaging, right? So you got to have the two, because the more people you talk to, the more people are going to get involved, and the more people are going to take the opportunity. So, yeah, y'all, it does not take that much time, right? So who has an Android? Does anyone have an Android? Everyone has an iPhone? I see one Android. Okay, who has an iPhone?
I don't know.
Okay. If you have an iPhone right now, open, I don't know if Android has this, but I want you to open your settings. And you're gonna click screen time. Hang on, let me turn this brightness down. Right there. You do that with the little hourglass right there. Click screen time. And then it'll take a second.
It's just right under settings.
Mm-hmm. Right here. You scroll down a little bit.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
The little thing. It'll take a second to upload. Guys, how many hours did you spend on your phone today? It's 9:30 Eastern. So for me, it's 8.5. How many hours have you spent on your phone today? 10 hours. Okay. Who else?
Mine wasn't turned on, so I don't think it.
Definitely turn yours on, because it's really good to see, because every like week it tells you like all of your stuff. But okay, 7 hours, 18 minutes.
Ooh, that was good.
Guys, how much of that time did you spend actively working your business? You don't have to say it, but like, be honest with yourself. Have you enrolled today? Have you gotten people in your calendar today? How many people have you talked to? Have you had real conversations? How many numbers have you gotten today? Do you feel good about the work that you put in today? Be honest. No? Yes? No? I see some head shakes. That's fine. Be honest. That's what we're here for, is to be honest. Like, guys, if you're not proud about the work you put in, but you've been on your phone for, 6, 7, 8, not 10 hours, and you're not proud of the work you put in, what the heck are you doing on your phone? You just had 10 hours of work. Guys, you could make so much freaking like impact on your business if you actually put in the work, instead of mindlessly scrolling, looking at leaders' pages, stealing captions, stealing pictures, searching on Pinterest for a perfect weight loss picture. Guys, take your own pictures, write your own captions. Like, if you see something, save it for later. But like, guys, use your own content. I'm telling you, stop copying people, because that's why you're not where you want to be, is because you're literally a carbon copy of a different leader, right? Like, people follow you for you. They want to know you. And so, use your time wisely. Use it so wisely. This business is built on time. The only difference between you and a top 150 income earner is they use their 24 hours more wisely than you do. That's it. The only difference between me and you is because I use my time more wisely. That's it. That's the only difference. We're all the same. Nobody is better than one another. We're all regular people. We're not like famous. Nobody really even knows who we are. Like, we're not, like celebrities. We're real people. The only difference is that we, like, top leaders, use their time more wisely. That's it. And so you like create IPAs, income producing activities. If you're on your phone, you're working. Okay. There's no more Candy Crush. There's no more What at Farmville on Facebook. Oh, that's where my mom is. That's weird. I don't know. But Like, don't waste your time. No, like, you want to know how I went diamond? I deleted Twitter and I deleted Snapchat, and I have not used it for 2 years. You want to know why my paychecks are almost 5 figures? Because I don't waste my time. I don't waste my time. Like, what's the point? Is Snapchat going to make me money? No. Is Twitter going to make me money? No. Like, is stalking my ex-boyfriend's girlfriend's sister's cat, like, Instagram page going to make me money? No. Like, I'm doing IPAs. Obviously, I have fun, and there are a lot of times where, like, I spend my time doing other things than work, but, like, I know when I need to get to work, right? And so if you're not a diamond yet, you need to be investing your time. It's not spending your time. It's not wasting your time. You're investing it in your business. Because if you spend, so think about it this way, if you spend the next 1 to 2 years of your life putting in massive amount of work and massive effort and massive action and massive time into your business and sacrificing for what you want will never, ever be the sacrifice, because you have to sacrifice for what you want, or what you want will become the sacrifice. It's my favorite quote of all time. Like, what do you want? Think about it. Do you have it in your head? What do you want? Do you want extra time? You know, do you have kids? Like, what is it? Is it just freedom of being able to do whatever you want, whenever you want? Is it, you know, money? Is it just freedom of finances, a savings account, paying off debt? I want in the chat right now, what do you want? What do you want out of life? Pay off debt? I'm waiting for some to come in. What did you join this business for? Freedom of debt, okay. Extra time with your kids. Okay, well, instead of triple diamond, you know, okay, debt, that's what I was gonna say. Like, what do you want? Being home, being able to take care of family. Perfect, guys. Would you be willing to put in 2 years of solid work to be triple diamond by the end of 21? Right? Like, would it be worth it to you to be making $10,000 a month to put in the time now? Would it be worth it to you? You guys joined this business for a reason. You didn't join just for the heck of it. Like, you didn't join just because you thought it'd be fun. You joined for a reason, right? Like, the friendships might have been a reason, but like, you didn't join just because. You joined for something. And remember that, right? And so put in the work now. Stop settling. Stop acting like 100 people, giving the opportunity to 100 people is enough. Guys, give this opportunity to everyone. Why the heck are you selecting only 100 people? Keep going, right? I got off on a tangent there. I don't even know what the question was, but if you, yeah, I see some praise hands. There we go, girl.
No, that was good. I'm just like, mic drop. Okay, yep. No, that was really good. I love that. And it's definitely, I'm really excited to see, I'm really excited to see my screen time on there now that I turned the dang thing on. I'll be able to see it. So one thing, like we have a couple basic questions, but one thing that I wanted to make sure that I asked you too, because I know, going from, you know, distributor to diamond and even to double, sometimes we have like this I feel like a lot of us who have been there for a while or who have made it there realize that how many people on that chart are working, right? Like, sometimes people have, like, you know, the ruby is working and the emerald's working and all the well, we don't have executives anymore, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, some people, I don't want to say luck out, but, you know, have the team that does work and take them there. But sometimes if you don't, do you have to let that stop you from getting there? Like, basically, like, working with a team that sometimes when it feels like you're the only one that's working, like, what would you say to somebody who says that?
Okay, first of all, homegirl, you got you. Like, that's all you need. If you have people working on your chart, like, that's a plus. That's the cherry on top, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if someone's working or not. They're not gonna stop me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if I had, you know, whoever, like Sally on my team, and she joined and like didn't do anything, but I need her for a Ruby. I need her to be at 400. I'm not going to wait for her to fill herself to 400. Because if I did that, I wouldn't be Ruby ever, right? Or I wouldn't be for a year, and I want to be Ruby now. So I'm going to fill it. Okay. Like, I don't care. You got you. You have to do what you have to do. Okay. If you have a Ruby that's not working and they need 1600 volume, you're going to enroll the 1600 volume, because at the end of the day, that chart is your responsibility. It's not your team's responsibility. It's not your Emerald's responsibility. It's not your Ruby's responsibility. It's not your 400 Box's responsibility. It's yours. If they get volume, if they enroll, that's one less thing that you have to do. Hallelujah. One less 60 BV order that you have to enroll. Okay? It's your responsibility. Do not count on your team. Eventually, your team will take over, but even then, it's your responsibility, right? And so me looking at triple, it's like, yes, I have amazing diamond leaders, okay? I have 4 diamonds on my team, and I'm not triple yet. Like, that's how freaking amazing my leadership is. But, like, it's not their responsibility to get to where they need to go. Like, it's my responsibility to help them and to get the volume that they need. And as they're enrolling with me, it's less pressure off my shoulders because it's less that I have to do, right? It's just like being a mom. I'm not a mom. I have dogs, but like, you know, it's not their responsibility to take themselves outside to go to the bathroom. It's my responsibility. Okay? They obviously know how to go outside. They know when to go, but like, it's my responsibility to take them outside, right? Like, anything in life, like it's you. You are in charge of your own ship, right? Like, you have to do it. But anytime someone tells me like, oh, nobody's working, like, boo freaking who, everyone has a dead chart. Okay, there is not a single person in this business, top leader, distributor, anyone, like, nobody has ever had a fully working chart. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. And I will say it until I die. Nobody will ever have a full working chart. It's not possible. Cassie Westland, number 2 income earner, literally my homegirl, my upline, has like a super dead chart. Like, when she was promoting to triple or presidential, was it presidential? No, it was ambassador. She had a completely dead double, right? When she, was promoting to triple, she had a dead emerald. Like, so many people, like, for me, like, I've made so many charts, like, you would throw up looking at all the charts that I've made. Like, it does not matter, okay? First of all. Second of all, if you set the tone the right way, okay? If you are being the best leader that you possibly can be, and not just being an okay leader, not just showing up, but like, you're leading from the front, you're doing Zooms, even if one person shows up, you're on every Zoom, you are at every event, you are there, you are texting your team every day, no matter if they respond or not. Like, you're texting them every day saying, hey, I'm here for you. Hey, what can I help you with? If you're being the best leader, you are enrolling, not just telling people how to enroll, but you're personally enrolling. Distributors, well, customers, you're posting, you're showing up, you're getting on your stories, you're doing your work, people will come. And I promise you that, because I'm telling you, like, birds of a feather flock together. And if you're not working, you will have people that do not work. I can promise you. If you are working, people will work. Obviously, there are still going to be people who quit and don't work, but the majority of people are going to work because you are. They follow your example. People who really want it are gonna want it, and they're gonna go for it no matter what. But they're never gonna go for it if you don't go for it. Okay? So reflect in yourself. Are you doing what you need to be doing as a leader, as a distributor, and as a person? And if the answer is no, your team never will. So reflect on yourself always. Did I answer that?
That was good. Okay, so I think we all know the answer to this question, but just so that way we can reiterate it, how do you motivate your team?
I can see it. My best friend's on here. My double to my triple. Like, you cannot motivate your team. Like, I hate that word. I hate it. Like, has anyone seen the Mel Robbins like video about motivation is BS? Can I cuss? Like, am I good? Like, we good? Yes or no? We're good? Okay. Like, motivation's complete shit. Okay. Like, you either want to do it or you don't want to do it. But like, even if you don't want to do it, like it's not that you don't have the motivation to do it. It's that you just flat out do not want to do it. Okay. Do I want to do my dishes? Hell no, I do not want to do my dishes. But do I really want a moldy sink? Rowan, Caitlin, do not look at me. I have a moldy sink at least like once a month. Like, I hate doing dishes. Like, but it's not that I don't have the motivation to do it, because I could do it at any time. I am fully capable of doing dishes. I can load a dishwasher, right? Like, I know how to turn on a sink, but I just flat out don't want to do it, okay? Do I want to wake up at 6:30 a.m. to take my dogs outside? No, that sounds terrible to me. I am not a morning person. I hate mornings. I would rather sleep until noon for the rest of my life than wake up at 6 a.m. ever. Like, not even once, okay? Like, do I want to vacuum my entire house? No. Did I want, like, to move an entire house full of stuff in one day? No. Like, did I want to pack a U-Haul with 4 people? No. Do I, like, I could make the list go on and on. Like, do I want to do anything? Like, no. Like, you know, but it's not that I don't have the motivation. It's that I flat out don't want to do it. And for things that I do want to do, it's not that I have the motivation to do it. Like, I want coffee. It's not that I'm motivated to get up and go do it. I want coffee, so I'm going to get up and go make it, right? Like, you either want it or you don't. I hate when people say, oh, my team's just not motivated. No, homegirl, they just don't want to do it, and you need to work with someone else. Like, or when people give me the excuse that, like, I've just not been motivated to work lately. Like, no, homegirl, you're lazy. Motivation and lazy go hand in hand, okay? Motivation's not real. Laziness is real, okay? Like, you gotta get over that, okay? You cannot motivate people, but, and it's a big but, you can inspire them, okay? So you can't just text someone and be like, I believe in you. You can do this. I want you to do this today. They're not going to do it if they don't want to do it. But if they see you doing it and see your results, then they're going to be like, okay, what are you doing? I want to do it. They learn by watching you. Okay. So many people, I won't hound people. I'll check in every day and just be like, hey, how's it going? What can I help you with? Blah, blah. But I'll never say like, hey, I want you to do this. Post this story. I want you to post this caption. Like, I won't do that. I won't do that. But when I post a story and I am getting results and I show the results, people are like, oh, okay, like, how did you make this? I want to do this. And I inspire them to do so, right? You can inspire them with your with what your bonuses are, with what your paychecks are paying for. You can show your team, look, I'm paying off debt. Here's another payment done. You know, I'm $1,000 like what's the word? Why am I blanking? Like, I've paid off $1,000 from my debt. Like, I'm that much closer, right? Like, I've paid off school, whatever. Like, you're going to show them and you're going to inspire them. But at the end of the day, someone's going to want it or they're not going to want it. It's not motivation. It's not. And if someone doesn't want it, do not drag them along. Do not drag them along. Because if they do want it later on down the line, it will be because you kept going and you inspired them to come back. It's not because you hounded them. It's not because you motivated them to like want to do it. Like, you inspired them. And sometimes people just don't come back, and sometimes people just don't work, and you have to accept that, and you just have to run with who's there. And if there's no one there, you run by yourself and people will catch up. I promise you. I think you're lagging.
Yes to all of that. Okay, so what are, and I know some people are like, you know, some people don't like to share this, so if that's something that you don't want to share, that's totally fine. But when, okay, you're sending out, you know, X amount of messages or whatever, do you, and I know you said you work heavily on Instagram, which that's what I've tried to like step more into the last year. I'm not like fully in it, but I am active over there daily. I'm messaging people over there daily. But what are you, like on Facebook, we do a lot of like host to posting. If we're messaging on Facebook, it's messaging to host to post. What do messages typically look like the first time you're reaching out to people on Instagram?
So mine's very personal. So like, even if I did share it, like, it's not going to sound like you, because I like to do, I like to speak into my phone when I'm like creating messages. I do it like once in a while, but I just created one that's like working really well for me. But it's funny and it has my personality. And so when it comes to messaging, like, don't just copy and paste someone's message. Like if it's working well for someone, it's working well for them for a reason, right? Like you need to be you. That's my biggest thing in this business is teaching people individuality. I don't want cookie cutter. I don't want carbon copies of each other. I want us to each like have our own personality. And so what I would suggest to you is to like open up your notepad, click the little voice to text where you can speak into your phone and it like types for you. Just talk out loud and say what you would say to someone in person. And so, just be like for me, I say dude a lot. I'm like, dude, like you would love this opportunity I have. Like, I would love to give you info, like whatever you would say, like it's so hard, like thinking it and like saying it, but like put it in your words. I say LMFAO to literally anything, even if it's not funny. So there's like 3 LMFAOs in my message. Like that's just who I am. But like I'm sure that like Jeannie wouldn't send like, hey girl, like I think you're super dope, LMFAO, like that, like, and if you sent that, like someone would be like, or if I send something like, hey doll, I think you're super fabulous, like they'd be like, did you really like type that up? I don't think you did. Like you want to be you. Speak the way that you would speak. Speak the way that your captions are written, the way like you present yourself, okay? Like people need to hear your voice, even though it's not like a voice, like it's your voice, right? It's the way that you're speaking. And when you have conversations over text, like it's not going to be a complete like different like voice, right? Like they're going to know that they're talking to you. And so think about what you say when you call like your best friend and you answer the phone. Like, is it like, dude, what's up? Or is it like, hey girl? Is it like, hello, beautiful, you are wonderful, whatever it is, like however you speak, that's how you should be creating your message. I always give a genuine compliment on specifically something with them. So I don't keep it, I think you're so pretty, because like, yes, like everyone's beautiful, but like sometimes like it just is pretty like not genuine, right? And so I like to give a specific compliment, whether like I like their pictures, I like the way that their feed is set up, their filters, if they have a cute dog, especially if they have huskies, because I have 2, like I'm all over that. I'm like, oh my God, you have huskies. I do too. Let's be best friends. Like that's how I talk. So that's how I'm going to message. And so I always put that in there. And then at the end, I always say like, dude, you'd be such a good product tester for me. Would you be open to more information? I never say, would you be interested? I never say like, would you be down or whatever. I say, would you be open to more information? Because if people say no, then it's just like, oh, you're not open-minded to hearing the info. Info's free, and then they're like, oh, okay. But if you say, would you be interested? Would you be interested? They can easily say no. And then you're like, okay, thanks. Have a great day. Like it just opens that door. So I think I answered that. But just be yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be a scripted message.
Yes, I completely agree with that. I like to give my newbies like some sort of verbiage, like to give them an example, because a lot of times they're like what do I even, how do I even, right? Mm-hmm. But I always tell them like tweak it up so that it sounds exactly like how you would talk and how you would talk to them, so I love that. And I always end with, would you be open for more information too? So you're sending ones out for the products and the business, right? You're doing both. Are you doing both?
I message for distributors once every like 6 months. Like if I'm like if I have not enrolled a distributor in a while, like in like a week, I'm like, okay, homegirl needs to like step it up a little bit. I really do not like messaging for distributors. It works sometimes, but like I would rather flip a PLC into a PBT. Like that's just comfortable for me, and that way I know that they need money. And when I message for distributors, I normally come across people who are like, yeah, that sounds so fun, but they don't actually like need it. Like they don't want it. They're not going to work hard, right? I would rather have the people who are hungry for more, and I can find that easily by talking to PLCs who can't afford the products.
Okay. Because what I personally have been doing is messaging for distributors on Instagram when I do message. I was messaging for product models, but it's been a while since I've even done that. And so I feel like what I was like, and it's, again, like you mentioned earlier, that's probably just all in your head and how you look at it or how you think that they're going to respond. Like in my mind, I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to say, you know, or they're going to tell me they can't afford the products, right? Or I don't have money for the products. So how am I supposed to say that they're, oh, well, let's do the business then, because now I know that they need money, right? Like, and then pitch the opportunity. But I feel like, again, like that's something on me, like being able to like switch them over, it's probably like a mental thing. But so I haven't even done that. I haven't even messaged for product models on Instagram. It's only been for distributors. So from how you gain most of your distributors, is that through flipping potential or PLCs, or like just your posts, like lifestyle posts and stuff?
Most of them, it's a combination. It goes hand in hand, because when I flip PLCs into PDTs, they've seen my post. So they kind of know what I'm talking about, or they can go back to my post and be like, okay, like this is what she's doing. So it's kind of 50-50. Most of them, like half of them come from my post. They'll text me if I say like text opportunity to blah, 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 or they'll swipe up. And then 50% of them are from PLCs that I flipped. Here. Am I lagging? Okay. You're muted. Does she know she's muted? You're muted. Muted. There we go. she figured it out.
Yes. Yeah. There we go. Sorry.
No, you're good.
No, I was trying to say, no, it's not you lagging, it's me lagging. But so as far as like when you sign a new distributor, like I feel like that's like the infamous question that everybody has to ask. And I feel like it sometimes is changing. Like we've changed up a lot of what we've done personally as far as launching new distributors and how we get them started. But if you wouldn't mind just giving us like a brief little rundown on how you do that.
Yeah, so I actually revamped all my training too. I'll pull it up. So they send me the screenshot that they got started. The very first thing I say is, can you add me on Facebook? And then I send them my Facebook link, because I don't want to be searching around and like adding the wrong people. I don't want them to be searching around and adding the wrong people. I want them to go straight to my profile and add me. And so I get them into our newbie chat. I get them into our 2 team pages. And then I let them know like, hey, I added you to these 2 pages. Accept the invites and let me know when you do. Because it's not just you add them and they're added to the page anymore. Facebook like invites them. So it's like an extra step. But so then the next thing is I just send them like a really long, sweet text letting them know like that there are going to be challenges, that it's going to be hard, but I need them to be honest with me. I don't want them to quit if they don't sign people. Like we're going to work closely together, and that I want them to blow up my phone. It's like this whole long thing. I won't read the whole thing, but basically just covering all of like the negative things, but letting them know that it's normal, that people are going to say no, that you're not going to sign people right off the bat, and that I don't want you to quit because of it. So, and then I say like, are you ready to do this with me? They always say yes. Then the second thing I do is I send them the personality quiz. It's the very first thing that I do. And I say, do this. Let me know what your top 2 colors are so I know what type of leadership you need. Because I'm very, very red. Like the quiz that we send, it gives you the percentages of all 4 colors. So it really breaks down like who someone is as a person. Yeah, I can, well, it's like, I don't know if I can send it on here. Hang on. Let me pull up my notes on my computer. Okay.
If you can't, you can just message it to me.
Yeah, there it goes. And so it breaks it down. And most people, when they take the quiz, their top color is like 30 to 40%. I'm a 60% red, if that tells you anything. And so it's really been a challenge for me to accept yellows. I've come a very long way, let me tell you. But there was a point in time where I could not, like, yellows were not allowed on my team. Like, they were gone. So adding this into my training, especially with newbies, has helped a lot, because I used to push away a lot of people because I'm very abrasive and in your face. And I don't mean to be, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but yellows can take it pretty harshly sometimes, even though I don't mean it harshly. But that's beside the point. This has helped with my training. And so if someone is a predominant yellow or predominant blue, then I'm going to tone it down a little bit for their training and really teach them, you know, like, praises, right? And so then the next thing I do is just walk them through the basics. Hello. Sorry, my boyfriend just got home. I tell them their ID name is their username, that they need to save it, save their website. I show them eSuite briefly, have them answer the tax questions, and then I let them know, or I say, let me know if you need help. And so then they do all that. So they now know what eSuite is. They know how to get into it. They know their website, and they fill out their tax info, which is very important so they can get paid. Like, that's something that a lot of people skip, is teaching their distributors to take off their commission hold, right? Okay. So then the next thing I do is,
how are you walking them through this? Are you, like, doing it through text?
Yeah.
Or are you, like,
text.
hopping on a call with them? Okay.
I pretty much do everything on text. I don't know, like, I just would rather, like, go back and forth and also, like, do my business at the same time. I'm, like, not a call person. I really don't like staying on the phone unless, like, someone, like, asks me to, you know? And so most of it's just text. So I just let them know, like, this is your first goal. I want you to write this down. You need 4 loyal customers for your shopping spree. You have 30 days, blah, blah. Your first 2 loyal customers. I tell them about fast starts. I tell them about the guarantee bonus. And then I tell them, if you grab your first 4 loyal customers in your first 72 hours, I'll buy you a gift from the It Works store online. So that's a thing that I do. Like, that's an extra incentive for them to, like, get loyal customers fast. And then I just send them a little thing saying, I'm going to teach you the 4 fundamental things we do for our business every day: posting, messaging, growing our friends list, and following up. And then I reiterate their goal in their first week. Their second goal in the first month is to help 2 people, or I need to change that to 3, actually. 3 people join your team. Then I tell them about fast starts again. And then I say, what tools should you have for your business? Honestly, a phone and a daily planner, that's it. Every day I work my whole entire 6-figure business right from my hand and have a super simple planner. I got it. Office Max is my only tools. Keep it so simple. It's not about having 8 hours in the day to sit down and work this business. I'm always on the go. So it's all about utilizing 3 to 5 minutes here and there throughout the day that eventually add up to 1 to 3 hours total. You got this. Are you pumped? And so I'm literally telling them, you don't have to spend 6 hours straight doing this business. It's all about fitting it into, like, cracks and crevices of time here and there. And so immediately I say, okay, let's get your first post on Facebook and Instagram. I give them a caption that's very vague. It doesn't say anything about starting, like, a business. It doesn't say anything about It Works. It literally just says, today is a life-changing day. I woke up knowing that I was going to make a choice that can change my world. I'm working part-time from my phone. I don't have to be away from my family any more than I am. I mean, just the thought of getting by, let alone getting ahead. I cannot wait to change the world. And then I send them another text that says, and this is an example, feel free to use, and I post with the selfie. Doesn't matter what pic you choose. I suggest not throwing It Works in so people are curious and come to you with questions. Again, totally up to you. And so they'll alter it to whatever, like, they want to, or they'll post it like that. And then I tell them to make their dirt list. So a list of 30 people that would buy dirt from them. I know you said this is short, but my training is, like, really long. That would buy dirt from them if they were selling it just to support them. And then they tell me they made their list. Even if it's not 30, as long as it's at least 10, I get them started. So I say, okay, we're going to start with these people. And if you need help, I tell them about Memory Jogger, the hundreds list. I say, let's do this in 5 to 10 people intervals, and please send them individually. When people answer, send me the screenshot so I can guide you through the process. Do not answer everything on your own right now. Send me every single screenshot, even if it's a no. And then I give them, like, a template for their message, and I tell them, like, what to fill in where, like, how they should word it based on, like, themselves. And then they just get started messaging right away. And that's kind of how the beginning of training goes. And then every day I kind of just ask them, what did you do today? And they'll tell me what they did today. And I'll, like, the first 2 or 3 days, I will write a caption for them based on what they did that day. And then they catch on, and they're like, okay, so I'm going to post about what I did today. And so they start writing their own, captions. So say like I ask someone like, what did you do today? And they're like, well, like, I had class and then I went to lunch with some friends and then I came home and worked like on this and got started. And then I would write a caption for them that says basically like, so freaking pumped that I get to work from my phone while I'm in class and at lunch with friends. I can't wait to see where this takes me next. Like little things like that. Obviously it could be more than that. That's just like off the top of my head. And then I text them every day and I just text different things like, hey, like, what are you struggling with right now? What do you feel you're strong in? What can I help you with today? Hey girl, I'm so fired up for you today. Like, what are your goals? Like just little things like that, just letting them, or even texting them like, hey girl, I'm rooting for you today. Like just letting them know like, hello, I'm here. But that's kind of all my training kind of involves.
Okay, I love all of that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this, by the way.
No, of course.
Let me see. Let me go back here. I have like pages of notes. I'm like looking back to the first one where I have your questions. Okay. So what was, hold on. How many messages? No, we answered that. Oh, as far as like, do you have any tips for, well, I'm sure you do, but like as far as retention, like loyal customers, like how, like what is something that you have in place, as far as like keeping track of, the current ones, like how you're following up with them, how you're, taking care of them, I guess.
Yeah. Stop treating them like a paycheck. Okay. Something that I've really implemented the last probably like 6 months of my business is I've treated every single loyal customer like they saved my firstborn's life. Okay. Like they are everything to me because we would be nowhere without our customers. Okay. And you want to keep them as long as you can, and you eventually want to help them become distributors themselves. And so, when someone joins, I text them right away, like, thank you so much. Like, I always give them a referral or tell them about referrals. So if they send a friend or family member like my way and they order, I'm going to send them a free product of their choice because like I'm letting them know right off the bat, like I take care of my customers. I'll text them 2 days later. I can read a little bit of it, but I'll text them 2 days later and just like rethanking them again for choosing me to be their distributor. Because they could have chosen anyone else, but they chose me. Okay, so it says, hey, I just want to shoot you a quick text and say thank you so much for your order and for choosing me as your rep. I'm so excited for you and to see your results. And then I re-explain the 90-day challenge after the fact because they don't even need to know all of this stuff before. It's going to confuse them. Just saying like about the shopping spree they can earn, about perk points, on like the 6th order, they get 50 perk points. 12th order, they get 150 perk points. And then I send them my Facebook link, letting them know that they can add me and like, be friends on Facebook. And then I'll text them. It kind of depends on what they order because shipping's been delayed recently for most products, but I'll text them once I see their order is shipped, or if I remember like, oh, I haven't texted them to see if they got their stuff, and I'll just text them like, hey girl, so excited for you, did you get your order in yet, or did you get your cleanse yet, did you get your coffee, whatever it is. If they did, then I ask them if they've started yet. I mean, it's just simple conversation, guys, but I go through Connect about every like couple weeks or so, and I'll text every customer, past or present. I don't care if they returned it. I don't care if they hated it. I don't care if they even blocked me. Like, I'm going to text every single customer up an appreciation text. I love just sending like, hey girl, hope your Thursday was amazing. Just wanted to thank you again for being a customer of mine. And then I'll give them like an opportunity to, get a free sample of keto coffee or a free sample of keto energy. Cause I always have like a crap ton, or, whatever giveaway I have going on, like an entry for it if they place a one-time order. Like, I'm always talking to them. And then recently I've been like texting my customers and just like talking to them, like just like having conversations, just being like, hey girl, like, I hope you're doing amazing. Like, what are you up to? And like having conversations with them. And that's something that I normally wouldn't do because it technically wasn't like an IPA, but it's been helping a lot to develop relationships. And that's what's really important to me, is developing relationships. So I hope that answered that.
No, that was really good. And I think the Connect app really saves us like a shitload of time and like makes things so much easier. And I haven't even been utilizing all of it to its fullest. And that was just another reminder that I need to freaking do that. So Crystal says, how do you keep track of remembering to message your loyal customers? Do you use the Connect app for that?
It doesn't like remind me. I just like kind of know when I'm like, I haven't talked to my customers in a while. Then I'll just like, I have no organization whatsoever. Like, ask anyone who is in my life ever. Like, I don't organize any. Like, my boyfriend's nodding in the background. Like, I don't really. The only thing I do write down is people to follow up with the next day. Other than that, like it goes all on my phone. Like, I tell Siri, hey, remind me to text this girl on this day. Like, I don't really have an organization system. I just like kind of know when it's been a while to like message my loyal customers.
Okay. And let me see. Also, because like I said, a lot of us are, like I've been trying to move, you know, to heavily be more in Instagram because I know like everybody's always like, you have to get on Instagram. You have to start working Instagram because it's like a freaking gold mine, right? Mm-hmm. So what would you, obviously a lot of what you're, you know, who you're enrolling, you're probably getting off of Instagram, but are you, you know, or the people that I'm sure that you are getting off of Facebook, are you having them like, hey, like, you know, getting them on board with Instagram right away? Or if you have a team that's kind of doing Instagram, like, are you really encouraging, like, let's get your Instagram going? Like, what do you, like, what would you, or what are you doing with that, I guess?
I don't really have an answer for that because I've never enrolled someone who doesn't work Instagram. I know that's like not helpful at all, but I don't really enroll anyone from Facebook. Like, I know that's not helpful whatsoever, but like the people that I do enroll from Facebook are like my college friends that I already have on Instagram, or people that like I know. Yeah, that's like a terrible answer. I don't know.
Well, I guess it would kind of also be, I guess, the same thing if you're enrolling somebody who has like 100 followers or something on Facebook or on Instagram. Like, I guess that kind of answers my own question too. Like, if you know, enroll this new distributor and she has 100 followers, you would just immediately just start teaching her how to grow her network and how to work Instagram. So I guess that doesn't really,
it's no different than
someone. I just answered my own question. Okay, we're good. Okay. Okay. What's my next one here? Do you guys have any of my team? Do you guys have any questions that I have not asked her yet that you guys, or something that maybe you guys have thought of since we've been talking that you want to ask her? Now would be a good time to do that as well. I know another thing I would like to kind of talk about is like, just, I mean, we've kind of done this already, but like just casting a vision of like where we're going, like what people really have their, or what we all of us have our hands on right now, and why, like, you know, you've also been in a few years, so, and I've been in for, it'll be 6 years this summer. It'll be 6 years, which is freaking crazy. I can't even believe it. But like, we've seen momentum, and you know, there's different parts of the year where you really see momentum, but like last year was like, I mean, it was like damn near momentum the entire year. And then now the beginning of the year, it's been like, holy shit. So basically of just kind of like casting that vision of why now is like a perfect time to like just be a freaking red and go all out.
Okay, first of all, 3 letters. TFX. Okay, let that just sink in for a second. $7 million in sales in less than 3 months. Guys, I don't even know how many times we've sold out. We've been on back order for almost like 3 months now, over 3 months. Okay, we sold out in seconds. Y'all want to know what momentum is? Look up Thermofite X right now. Guys, companies only have one sizzle product, okay? We have 60. Like, we have every single product is like keto coffee, greens, cleanse, fat fighters, Thermofite X, wrap, everything. Everything is a sizzle product. Everyone wants everything. It's not just they want one thing. They want the whole package. Guys, companies do not do this. You are in the right place at the right time, and I'm telling you, with the right freaking people. This is your tribe. We're doing it together, okay? Like, just know that corporate has our back. They do everything so strategically to make sure they set us up for success. I've sat in a room with Mark with like 6 other people, okay? Like, I've talked to him one-on-one. Like, I know the vision from him. I've talked with Pam one-on-one. I've been to Cammie's house. Like, we've all been like together. I know how much corporate has our back, and listen to me when I tell you, they are being so smart. If you guys think that right now is the peak of momentum, you will not believe what 2019 it has in store for us. Okay, you have no idea what corporate is about to unleash. Guys, Mexico and the Philippines are opening this month. This month, guys. Like, excuse me, how long have we been waiting for Mexico to open? How many people do you know that are ready to go? Guys, and that's so many people in the United States that can open that market up too, right? How many people do you know that have family in Mexico? So many. Like, that is going to be a whole new explosion. There are like, how many tens of thousands did Mike say were pre-enrolled in the Philippines? Like 35,000 or 25,000, something like that. Dude, that's pre-enrollment. Like, we're not even open there yet. We're in the right place at the right time. Guys, do not stop. It's like a snowball. When it just like starts rolling, it gets bigger and bigger as it goes down and goes faster. Like, that's what we're on right now. Ride that wave, because this is what residual income is made of. It's made out of little steps, you know, here and there. They keep going and they build upon each other, and they keep going and they keep going. And then once that wave is over, your residual income carries over until the next wave. That's how you build it, okay? But if you don't take advantage of this right now, your residual income will not be there when the wave is over, okay? And I'm telling you, you want to build now while it's hot, before we drop, okay? And I don't mean drop in a bad way, but before, like, you know, like the hype of Thermofite X wears off a little bit, you know? Like, get in there now. Do what you need to do now, so that by the time that we're ready for the next wave, you're ready to go. You're prepared. Yeah, calm before the storm. That's what I'm trying to say, you know? Like, get ready. Go now. Because I'm telling you, the longer you wait, the longer it's going to be to get to where you want to go. Every single time. Start now. Now is the perfect time to start. Doesn't matter how long you've been in this business. It doesn't matter how many times you've lost rank, how far you've fallen back, how lost you feel, how stuck you are. It does not matter how many people quit, how many people walked out on you, how many people left for another company. It doesn't matter where you're at, okay? If you're still here, you're here for a reason. You stand tall, you dust yourself off, and you start again. Start from square one and build yourself up. Okay, I said this last night, and I say it all the time. Like, you have to hit rock bottom to have a strong foundation to build your future on. You have to hit rock bottom. You have to have a solid foundation, or everything will crumble. Okay, you have to hit that bottom. Okay, and so build upon that and keep going. So much stuff is going to happen. So much like negative, so much positive, everything's going to happen, but it's all about how you react and how you push through it. So I hope that I answered that. Was that good? Did I cast a vision?
Yes, no, that definitely did. That was good. That was good. Thank you so much for that. We really, really appreciate it. If nobody has any questions that they want to pop in the chat right now, then I don't know. I mean, do you have like one last thing? I mean, that was all like, I don't know what else you could add, but if you do have something else that you want to add or leave us with, that's awesome. If you don't, that's okay too. But yeah, if anybody doesn't have any questions, and I think we're good, because that was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, guys, just do it. Like, there's literally nothing standing in your way, right? Like, there's no obstacles. That, I mean, there's obstacles, but like, there's nothing that's gonna stop you unless you let it. Okay? I want you guys to remember what you're doing this for. Don't lose sight of that, because the moment you lose sight of it is when everything crumbles, right? Your chart is your roadmap, but you got to have a destination, right? Your destination is always changing, but you have to have somewhere to go. Make a goal. Don't make it so small that you can achieve it so easily. Okay? Make a goal that you can kind of almost reach, and then add a little bit to it. Because you have to have dreams and goals so big that God has to step in, right? Like, he has to, because you physically can't do it by yourself, right? And so I want you guys to think about April as your fresh start, okay? It doesn't matter if last month was the best month you've ever had. This is your fresh start, because I feel like sometimes we get cocky after having a good month, and we're like, yeah, like, we did it, and then you're burnt out and you have a crappy month right after, because like, you put all your effort into 1 month, right? Like, fresh start every single month. This is your fresh start right now, to start a new like wave of momentum for yourself and for your team. Okay? Like, get started now. Don't wait till tomorrow morning. Don't wait until 11. It's 10:23. You're going to get off this call, and you're going to go message like hundreds of people before you go to bed, because it does not take that much time. It takes an hour to message 300 people. Time it, and I promise you that's exactly how many you'll message. It takes 20 minutes to message 100 people. Simple math. Guys, go out there, 10 times your efforts. Just keep going, because I promise you, you'll get to where you're going as long as you don't quit. She's lagging. There we go. Yeah.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm like, stop freezing. Everybody froze. Oh my goodness, that was so good. Thank you. We appreciate this so much, and we're rooting for you and praying for your promotion this month, and I cannot wait to see that announcement so that we can congratulate you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, thanks for having me on, guys. Good luck with this month. I can't wait to see your guys' promotions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night, guys.